Joining me now is the CEO of the Melbourne Football Club, Cameron Schwab. Good to see you wearing your jumper, Cameron,
yes,
as directed by your president.
Yes.
Let's go to the rooms before the game in a very poignant moment when Jimmy Stynes' first jumper of the first year, the number 37 he wore, was in the middle of the player huddle. Can you talk us through what was going on?
When Jim made his announcement to the player group, he actually just grabbed a jumper to explain almost to the player group the significance of that. And I think Martin Flanagan did a great job this morning articulating what it actually means. And he grabbed it not knowing that it was actually the jumper that he did wear when he ran across the mark. And so it almost, for him, that been a defining moment in his football career. And then it was actually James McDonald who asked whether he could actually have the jumper to use as part of all of this. And each of the players in the coach's room before the game actually got to hold the jumper as it went around. And I think clubs are great, in terms of how they come together to support their people. And I think sometimes to have something very tangible like this jumper is really powerful. Simple.
Well, we'll go back to the very emotional media conference that Jimmy conducted on the Thursday. He's had the operation, a big operation yesterday. Can you just tell us what's happened so far?
Yeah, well, the first reports are positive. I think that was probably always going to be the case for him, though. The biggest challenge he's facing is he's not exactly sure what style or what type of cancer it actually is. What they removed from him today will now be tested, and hopefully in the next week or so we'll get a much better indication from that point of view. And then when we get that, he then knows exactly what he's fighting, and I think that's probably where the most fear is in it for him, that he's not exactly sure what he's doing battle with. And I think his own description of it, by stepping back to give himself and his body time to heal, I think was probably the best description of where he's at. But he's in great frame of mind.
Yes, you've got a message from Jimmy today.
Yeah, he great frame of mind. A good friend of his actually broke into his computer and downloaded every photo on it, and he woke up and his whole room was just full of family shots and shots of his close friends in and around him, and I know he got a great buzz out of that. And but he's in a really good frame of mind, and anyone who knows Jim, he's very much into the mind-body thing, and that's what makes this such a, everyone was so surprised. He's a guy who very much looks after his mental health as well as his physical health, and so I think he's as well equipped as anyone can be to fight this particular challenge.
What sort of effect has it had? I know it's only early days, such as 48 hours since the news broke. What sort of effect has it had on the football club?
It's hard to know, I think. I think when you hear news like that, I think the first instance is to sort of feel for the person, but also personalise it a bit. And even with a very young group of players, I wasn't sure how they'd respond. I wasn't sure how coaches would respond. So we didn't put any expectation on them in that regard. Jim, when you're with Jim, you walk away with this incredible confidence that he's in a good space, and so therefore we should be. But then he leaves the room, and you're left with your own thoughts a little bit. And so I think everyone's probably got their own response. Our clubs are great at coming together, and it certainly has done that. We're aware of where we're at as a club in terms of the young people, and we know that we weren't going to add another weight to all of this, but at the same time recognise that we want to be with Jim every step of the way as part of this challenge.
And just quickly, how have you seen the club's year so far? Are you where you're at, or you've been disappointing the last month?
You have been disappointing the last month. That's going to be part of it for us. We've also played teams in relatively good form as well. We're playing a much more competitive brand of footy today, and as a starting point, that's what we expect, and we'd hope to go on with it today.
All right, Cameron, we appreciate your time. And as I said, the good news is that Jim Stynes has had the operation. He's in good spirits today, and it goes without saying that the football community wishes him well.
Yeah, and that's the jumper, and I know Jim's going to be watching the game, and mate, we're very much with you, and we love you a lot.
Well said.